Hello everybody, my name is Yun. This afternoon it has warmed up quite a bit. We're just below freezing, which is awesome, coming out of a cold spell. We got quite a few jobs to do on the farm now that it's getting warmer, and we're gonna be getting at it this afternoon. We got to bed up our straw packs. We're gonna be doing that first here. I gotta milk this afternoon, so I gotta get these things done quickly before I gotta head over to the parlor and milk the cows. We also want to adjust some of the inlets in the parlor barn here. With this last frost, they kind of got messed up a little bit, so we're basically just going to be recalibrating them and setting them right again. They're letting too much air into the barn here. So those are some things we're going to be doing before we get to milking this afternoon. Payload is already running there. Our guy who fed this morning left it outside of the shop for me because he knew I was going to put bedding in. So that's awesome. We're going to get at it. Just hopped out of the wheel loader to show you guys these snow drifts here. We're pretty much needing to dig bales out at this point because there's so much snow. Like, these drifts are pretty much well over my head. Getting in back here. Oh, maybe there is bales under here. I'm not 100% sure. They're just covered right up. So we're digging them out, and this is what it looks like right now. This is just because the wind blows the snow so much. And since we did get quite a bit of snow this year so far, we gotta dig these bales out. In between where we grab these bales and the barn, I guess I like to try and shake off as much of that snow as I possibly can, because otherwise I'm gonna have to be the one that takes that net wrap off with all the snow on there and the ice on there. So try and shake it off as much as we can, but we don't want to wreck the bales because that just makes taking the net wrap off annoying. So maybe we'll just drop them in once we get there. That'll shake up the net wrap and kick that snow off. You always got to pull your coveralls over your boots, otherwise you're going to fill them up with straw. Don't want that. You can see there's a little ridge of net wrap that comes over the edge of the bale. Before we set him down in the barn, I kind of just cut it, pull it out from underneath so that when I set him down, that's not underneath the bale. Makes it a lot easier to just take this net wrap off like that. Now we're gonna open the doors on the back of the pack barn here. It's just the two outside ones that give us access to the straw packs. So this is the maternity pack. Gotta move the girls onto the manure alley there. Come on, lady. Ladies. Alright, so the cows are moved off of their straw packs and both doors are open, so we're gonna put one bale on each side. That's all it takes to bed these things up. Let's do it. I think it's almost time that we gotta take the straw pack out again. You guys can see the door is getting pretty close to the roof of the loader, so probably pretty soon, the next week or so, we're probably gonna have to take the straw pack out as well. I don't know if you guys could see that when I picked this bale up, but it just burst wide open. I think I'm gonna be lazy, shake it out, and try and pick the net wrap off with the grapple and the loader. Sounds like that'll be a lot less work for me, trying to cut it out by hand. So I'd say that worked out really good, shaking that one bale out, not even taking it off by hand, just grabbing the net wrap with the loader. This one's starting to burst a little bit too yet, but I think it's still worth it for us just to cut it off by hand, so that's what we're gonna do. So this bale also, as soon as I got the net wrap off, it just burst right open. If I remember correctly, we baled this straw probably around 10% moisture. You can make straw bales up to maybe even 14% moisture, just with the damp air from maybe at nighttime on there. And a little bit more moisture would have made it so that these bales don't actually burst open so quickly. Both straw packs are nicely bedded up. It definitely looks a heck of a lot better than it was 15 minutes ago. I gotta get these doors closed now, these overhead doors, and you can see driving in and out with the loader, it just kind of scoots this straw pack out a little bit. I'm just gonna use the edge of the loader bucket, push it in. We wanna always make sure that these overhead doors are getting a good seal on the concrete floor here. That was maybe a bit aggressive, put a big lump here, but at least the door is good now. We can let these ladies back on their clean straw packs. Come on, stop. She's rolling away from us here. So you guys can see there is a little bit of straw in the bucket. That's just because I used it to clean underneath the doors before we shut them. I should clean that out because we feed with this wheel loader. What I'm gonna do actually is pretty simple, and kind of one of the perks of having this much snow. We're just gonna grab a bucket of snow and this will clean the bucket right out. All right, so we're back in the parlor now, and you guys might remember right at the beginning of winter, I took a ladder and hopped in the wheel loader as well, and we adjusted all of these inlets on the ceiling here. So what these inlets do, they basically are a hole into the attic of this barn, and they pull some cold air from the attic into the barn here through the ceiling, and that's kind of how this barn is ventilated. I had to readjust them all because they were just stuck open a little bit too much and was letting too much cold air in. So we did have them perfectly good about 2 months ago, but with this last deep freeze that we just went through, it got to like minus 53. A lot of ice actually built up on these inlets. So the ice kind of got in the way from them closing, and they couldn't close all the way anymore. You can see that one's still quite a bit open. It actually thinks it's all the way shut. So what happened, ice got in between the flap and the opening, and it tried to pull it shut. Didn't shut because the ice was in the way, and then the strings kind of got stretched again. So I need to readjust these. It's only been getting like minus 15 now at night, and still everything is frozen in the parlor here in the morning, and it's because those things are open. So quickly before milking this afternoon, hopefully we can get these all adjusted. It's literally just the front four for some reason. Further down in the back of this barn is pretty good, so it shouldn't be too much extra work. So that's all there is to it. That inlet's good now. I was kind of lazy. I grabbed the short ladder. Figured I'd be tall enough to reach it, but I gotta stretch it pretty good. It's a little bit sketchy. Another thing I'll quickly fix here. Another one of these bolts came out. So put it back in. I found the bolt, but we lost the nut. So we're gonna have to head over to the shop and see if we got some new ones. Must be a metric. Look at that. So you can't over tighten these because otherwise it'll pinch here, and this needs to be able to bend still. So that's not going to be a permanent fix, but that'll get us by. It is an awesome day out today, which means we can get the drone up in the air again, get some drone shots around the farm. It's been a minute. They recommend you don't fly those drones below, I think, 0 degrees, so below freezing. They don't recommend you fly it. It's still quite a bit below freezing, but it's an awesome day, so we'll get some drone shots. So taking these things off, these milkers were frozen to the wash trays, but that's not going to happen anymore, especially since we closed those vents. So.
No way.
Some of these wash trays are kind of bent out, and that's because we have a really big cow, and when she's standing there, she's been sticking her leg out there right at the end of milking when we start putting the milkers on the wash trays. So we've been needing to keep an eye out on that. You can see this one's bent out as well. Normally supposed to look like this, so we got to be careful with her. She's literally the biggest cow that we have in the barn. It's one of my favorite cows in the barn here, number 25. Unfortunate, right when she calved after a couple of months, a cow unfortunately stepped on one of her quarters, so she's a 3-teater now. But she still produces a really impressive amount of milk for just 3 teats. It's a really good cow. No, you're supposed to go to the holding area. So once we get these alleys scraped, all the cows into the holding area, I'm gonna be putting sand bedding in our beds again today. They're getting pretty low. I want to fill them up again. I don't like doing it when it's really cold outside because for that side of the barn, I need to keep that overhead door open. I can do it on the inside here. It's just a bit of extra work moving those gates. So if you got some nicer, warmer weather, warm enough that you can just keep one of the overhead doors open. It works out nicer and it's less work. So I've been kind of putting it off, putting bedding in here a couple days, too long probably, just to wait till it gets nice outside. But it's gonna be nice putting bedding in this afternoon because it is warm outside. Honestly, one of the nicest things about this warmer weather is absolutely no ice on these doors, and they're completely dry. So we don't need to worry at all in the morning opening these doors with ice. It's just such a stress reliever not having to worry about those doors. Oh, look at this girlie. Chased all the cows into the group and she's still here waiting. All right, girl, we gotta get up in the holding area. Let's go, girl. Come on. It's always nice to have a tame cow in the barn, but they can be sometimes pretty annoying when you're trying to push cows into the holding area. See, she wants to be pet now. It's like, come on, girl, let's go. Hey. Back to the parlor, helped Nalene finish milking this group. Got a cow joke for her. Nalene, what do you call a cow with no legs?
I don't know.
Ground beef.
Oh.
Hey, that was a good one, eh?
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
Just pat myself on the back for that one. Totally came up with that by myself. Also going to be mixing a foot bath for tomorrow morning again. So we're going to drain this one out. There's an air door at the back. I just switched it off. Then we're going to clean it out with the fire hose. And then we got half a bag of copper sulfate right here. We're going to mix in there. Turn the hot water on once we want to fill it up. So that's a nice looking foot bath again. We always do it at night because we use steaming hot water as hot as we possibly can, making this foot bath with the copper sulfate. That powder, we believe it dissolves better in the water if the water is boiling hot. And you don't want to send cows through it after you just made it, obviously, because it's going to hurt them, and then they're going to get really scared to walk through this sort gate area, and that'll mess up how we manage the herd. So quite a few reasons why you don't want to just send cows through hot water. That's why we mix it the night before, and that way it has plenty of time to cool down before cows are going to walk through this thing. And we know it's for sure mixed up good because we used hot water. So But anyway, guys, if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons down below. Check out the Instagram and the TikToks at Sask Dutch Kid. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.